but we've seen so many different looks from Big that it's actually consistently been something that has been very impressive. The fact that they're able to just get so many different looks for their players enables Xantares in so many different ways, whether it's as a second man on a lurk or it's as a player that can just, I mean, sometimes he's late round lurking and sometimes he's the second one in on an exec. So that bodes so well for Big, because if you can unleash the beast in multiple players in different ways, I mean, that shows a level of comfort.
It's really hard to do.
Yeah, it shows such a level of diversity in their playstyle.
It's amazing. It's actually making me so excited for this Big team that I've been a bit tentative about, because I'm like, how long are they going to be able to do this for? But here we go. Map 2, Big tied up the series by winning Mirage, and here we see them on the T side of Inferno, where Vitality are going to charge them down mid. They are looking to get in the action immediately. That bomb is on the stairs in a precarious position, and it needs to be recovered here by Xantares, who is going to get shot in the back of the head by Apex, leaving Searson on the lonesome in a 0 versus 3. One round for Vitality here, picking up the pistol, and that's the start that they needed.
It's almost constant chaos there, just in the middle. Just fights. Vitality bringing the fight to Big, not allowing them to get set up, and that's probably one of the things that we saw in Mirage and the T side a lot, is that Big was able to set up in that B halls, but they're also punishing too. So it's really hard to just say, how can we counter Big when their teamwork and their skill is above and beyond almost, anything we've seen in the tournament.
That's a great point. If Vitality are able to keep the pressure on Big in this match, it will be so difficult for Big to actually run the game plan that they went over, they outlined last night. You know that they talked about that. You know that they talked about what bomb site do we want to hit more? How are we going to play out the default? But if Vitality just keep throwing curveballs like that at you, that they keep getting aggressive, as we see ZywOo playing a rather close angle here at Banana, then that can be so strong. And oh man, well-timed flash from Vitality to try to enable ZywOo, but he's not able to find a kill. Perhaps another flash? Okay. Not able to find anything.
Yeah, he fell back before. I think there was a communication error there, because it could have been a second pull of the trigger, but he fell too far back to make use of that second flashbang. Forward smoke to take the coffin angle away with some flashbangs with it as well. So Big are really taking some map control here, but Apex has a superior angle. There's no one to follow up in that position, but ZywOo needs to stay alive in the back of the fight because Apex is smoked up, trying to abuse their numbers. Can he come to the rescue? It doesn't look like it. We could see a bomb plant here. We could even see a round win, 4 versus 3, just about. Tizian on 3 HP, but a bomb indeed has been planted.
Yeah, just RPK and Masuta now scaling from CT, but it doesn't look like they're even favoring their chances at this point. They know the round is lost. Big have too much advanced positioning, and that'll be a 1-1 start. That's where Big is so scary. In so many games that we've casted from them, we have seen them on these second rounds just break the other team's economy with a win such as there. They do not stop with the pressure. They never let you get comfortable, and they rarely want to let the CTs have control of the economy.
Yeah, it's also pretty rare for ZywOo to not even get a kill in that position, because I think if Team Vitality would got at least one kill, probably make a bit more space for Apex, who's trying to swing towards that back halls area. He'll probably be a bit more cautious, take his time in clearing every single angle, waiting for his teammates. But once ZywOo went down in that bomb site, kind of put Vitality in a hurry mode, and Big just scaled perfectly and got like 2 odd kills.
They've got a lot of nerd setups like that, as Alex alluded to. They like those kind of difficult rounds. If they can get close to a position, they have the setups to like isolate players and give themselves more than 1 versus 1 situation, so they can either get a bomb plant and things can escalate and get out of hand into a situation such as that. That's really an important part of their repertoire at the moment, which maybe flies a little under the radar, but they keep doing that, and it's very specific what they're doing. It's not by mistake.
Okay, looks like Bracket Take coming out here from Big. They're throwing the utility for it, but they're not throwing the bodies just yet. All right, with that Molotov, there should be some kind of aggression here from Xantares. But he's just making his presence known. And Vitality have centered their defense around this A bomb site. There are 4 players here right now, but this also looks like where Big want to end up. This could be a huge firefight. And it'll start things off with RPK finding one, but Keto and Xantares are quick to respond, leaving Apex in the bomb site. He's supported by Shox here. And Big, they might not recognize that there are a couple more players here. They might think this is free for the taking, so if they're not careful about this, this could get out of hand rather quickly. And Shox starts it off nicely with one, looking for more. They can't molly him out of that position. They don't have any more nades, but Apex, that's when he knows it's his time to strike. He's able to get another. Oh man, this is all falling apart for Big. Apex gets a second kill. It's just Tizian in the 1v3. Smoke going towards his position. He's forced forward. He finds one, but can't find the transfer on top of it.
Dude, Shox' experience there. He did not peek forever. After that one shot, just pops up, owns someone, never to be seen again in that round. That's amazing.
Yeah, that guy in the halls from Big was waiting for him for a good 10, 15 seconds for him to peek again. Shox is showing his big brain.
His chops.
Yeah.
And that's probably around Big probably did not expect to lose right there. They had the advantage at the start, and then they had positioning, they had good info, but you know, Team Vitality kind of gets right with that stack in the bomb site, and Big didn't expect 2 more people. I don't think that quick.
Look at this force buy though. It's basically just pistols. They focus on having max utility on every player, and they've tossed almost everything in the first 15 seconds. It's just Masuta left at the back of the A side here. Tamsin with that M4 that he collected. It's going to be able to take Masuta down, but in swings RPK from Moto, looking to deal all of the damage, all that HE. Oh, big damage there done by that one. However, there is still a solid advantage for Big here. They have control of the site. The only thing is that bomb is in no man's land, but it looks like Vitality are challenging forwards, and now it's just going to be ZywOo left in this position. In a 1 versus 3, he has a smoke. He could potentially try to smoke that bomb off. It is still in an awkward position here for the T's. They will put that forward smoke. And, oh, there's actually a gap around the side of this. They must surely be checking this out, though. And ZywOo's going to take down one. There's just 2 left here for the French Titan as ZywOo presses in, using that smoke finally to cut off one of the angles here. Oh, they've got to be so careful. Tizian's so low. Any bullet would do him in, and he's got to be really cautious. He's trying to just occupy ZywOo's time as much as possible, while Searson plays around the top of the smoke there that ZywOo dropped. As ZywOo elevates himself. There we go. Takes down Searson. Out comes the USP. He's got to be quick. He's got to force the issue. He takes him down. ZywOo gets every single kill. And there is time with the kit to go for the defuse. ZywOo, it's just insane. It is just insane that he pulls that one off.
He's so smart. He is so smart.
He played that really smart.
Just so patiently, never forcing the issue, using his utility perfectly. Oh, man.
That was... It's just so... When ZywOo's doing stuff like that, it just looks like he's just playing slow motion and, you know, there's nothing... There's just nothing's wrong. It's like, it's not like it's the finals. It's not like this is an important moment. It's just so easy. He just takes his time. Apex, not taking his time though, will be diving down middle, trying to see what value he can find by switching up the pace against Big. Oh, it's lots of trades here. It's going to be... It's pretty stressful for Vitality in some respect, because it feels like a 3v3 is not a bad place to be for Big right now.
Oh, Tizian lurking towards the apartments is able to find RPK. Last round, ZywOo was able to win that 1v4 with the 4K, and he's going to have to come up big once again this round. But it looks like they're avoiding him. They'll be challenging Masuta, who's on the B bomb site now, and it actually seems like ZywOo has recognized this. He's rotating on over to help his teammate out, and he has a Molotov as well. Big, with 45 seconds left. They could rotate back if they experience too much resistance here, but it looks like they're going for the full commit. Great utility on their players as well. Can isolate many of these angles, but ZywOo peeks on forward already and takes down 2 immediately. Oh man, he's still so hot right now. Looking for the third, but Tizian responds with a kill of his own. Will he expect Masuta? No, he will not. That was such a brute force approach from ZywOo. He shows you he can get it done in multiple different fashions, whether it's the slow, calculated one or just straight up taking players' heads off.
Yeah, he's playing that positional game really well. Such a strong angle. He's not really at the corner. He's a couple steps away from that corner. So people might have overlook it for a split second, you know, as they squeeze their mouse to the other common spot, but...
It's another force buy. Sorry to interrupt you. The
No,
force
just
buying
go
again.
ahead.
Yeah, I was mentioning earlier how big they are just relentless in trying to take the economy away from the CTs. They understand the metagame right now in that it's so difficult as a CT team to try to win and stay alive with multiple players all of the time. So even this pressure can be so successful in its own right.
Oh, Keto's already in CT spawn. There's a second one there as well. They'll take down Apex.
Oh my god.
And they have the bomb as well. This is the energy in these pushes from Big is insane. It's so high octane. And they are threatening the ramp towards the B site. And right now, Vitality have no idea what's going on, where these T players could even possibly be. There's someone still lurking in the apartments. They're in CT spawn. They're all over the place right now. And it has come to a standstill as Vitality try to hold on to the ground that they have and block off these passages to the bomb sites for the plants. Zyru is just out there. He'll take down Keto, and he's worried about Banana as well, as rightly he should be. And, oh, Searson's timing is just a little bit too slow. Zyru should be able to hold this now.
Yeah, this changes everything. He's got Shocks in tow in CT, and Masuta is on the way. They can just defend from here. Win the round in CT spawn, said no one ever. But that's what's going to happen here, probably. Well, they managed to get to the bomb, but the position is there. They let them go too far, so they couldn't fall back and had no cover, and then emerged and traded, and it's 5-1 to Vitality. I feel like Zyru may have figured out how to activate versus Big. But again, I think Mirage was definitely a playground for Big. But Inferno, clearly a different matter.
That's a good T round by Big. I remember seeing that kind of strat like 6 months ago. I mean, I see it here or there, but the first time I saw it was against when Mouseforce did it, where they had this like setup where they just smoke flash everything from alt mid and pretty much charge towards like an alt or archway in some way, just overwhelm the CTs.
If they had got the bomb down that previous round as well, they would have a 4-buy here. And I think that's also part of the logic for them to make that decision. Oh, Tizian. Oh, that's a pretty big kill to get. Taking down one of the apartments. Every kill like that is really huge at this point for Big. They're going to be full buying next round. They're going to be trying to also just barrel into this B bomb site now. But Zyru, how is he making this MP9 actually look like an M4 right now? That seems interesting. So just the one kill in the end for Big, and Vitality will be pretty happy with how this is going at this point. They are 6-1 up. They're feeling good.
I feel like most of Big's kills have come with pistols so far.
They've been on a lot of pistols.
Yeah, it's only been pistols pretty much.
This might be the first real gun round coming out, and still Zyru doesn't even actually have an op in it, MP9. But if there's any player that's capable in the server of making an MP9 look good on a gun round, it's definitely him.
Yeah, Citizens with the AWP is... Well, hold that thought. We have an aggressive maneuver here. What on earth is that? He just jumps on the logs and just owns Tapson.
The timing is clean.
I've seen that.
So clean.
I've seen that so much, but for it to like, work out.
The lineup comes through for LPK.
Look how back and forth
The trades are insane.
It's like an anime.
And the bomb's collected by Xantares, and there's some real decisions to make here. They have 1:20 left. He's going to try to force the issue, but that smoke, I think, really just screws him over in terms of the angles. But he has access still to this B site. There's a lot of gambles he can take here as he makes his way towards long. There's already a player towards the arch position. He may not realize this. He has an idea that the one is on the A site, but does he understand that there's already one in CT? It's definitely a good guess. He's going to have to react really quickly with his AWP. It's not exactly what you know him for, but he's going to pick up the kill. He knows where the other player is, and he knows he can sprint straight to that B-bomb site plant. He's going to get himself a post plant on the B site, and he's going to have an AWP to defend it with. That is very favorable for Xantares. Apex with no nades is going to have to be very creative here.
Xantares with the AWP, something you said we haven't seen too much of before. He's putting himself in strong angles here. He does not know Apex has come from Banana. But he'll have a good idea here in about 5 seconds.
Oh! What a play from Apex.
That is really painful.
And that was 3 seconds for Apex to sneak in there. It was one more second, literally, and then Xantares would have a good idea that's coming from that spot. That was so good.
That's such an interesting approach from Apex there. Seeing where the bomb is planted, instead of clearing the bomb site out, he just goes straight, beelines it to that construction CT side entrance, and is able to find Xantar looking the other way. That is intelligent stuff.
I feel like if there's an X Factor person on Team Vitality who's like kind of a wild card that does unconventional moves, it'd be Apex. He's a person that maybe focuses on what is the norm, and I'm going to not do that because you expect that kind of mentality.
Contrarian by nature.
It's another round for Vitality, one that really needed to go the way of Big for them to feel in this half. And right now it's all about Vitality, but there's still time to turn things around, much like Vitality did on Mirage, as we enter the second half of the first half, as it were. And Big, they've got to find something that will stick, because so far they've not really been able to do that. They've gotten close a few times, but I think they're really hurting for the lack of gun rounds that they've had this half. And the times in which they forced bought with the pistols and utility, it made sense, but it just didn't go their way on any one occasion. Vitality playing very passive
anti-flash
here.
position for Apex. Yeah, they're going to have a big test ahead of them. It's going to be a long rotation, although RPK just swung top mid. Only sees Tizian. Now, what does that mean? He died, but I only saw one player top mid. There are 40 seconds remaining now. They could read that Big might make a play towards the A bomb site based on that kill. However, Shox, it looks like it's going to rotate towards this B bomb site just as things start to stream in. He's got no grenades, can't offer any cool flash or anything like that. So he gets a chain flashbang, and Apex is here to deliver the first kills. They will successfully slow things down at the very least. Reposition, they're lining up for him, but Xantar somehow takes out his teammate, and Apex, well, that's for the better. Allows him to plant the bomb, and they're on a 2 versus 2. He knows once rotated towards ruins, he's got the flash to take the position. Shox has to fall back. Both CTs with a kit and Tizian's coming in from the back, and they're going to line up for him. There might be a shadow here for Xantar. Well, there's a play to be eliminated, and Tizian will not do the rest of it. Xantar will kill him as well. 4 for Xantar towards that B bomb site. Only the second round for Big.
It's really great to see Xantar really stepping things up here in this matchup, because no one else on Big is really finding their feet at the moment, and that was pretty scrappy when Apex did enormous damage, using Zywoo effectively as bait, as it can often be on the B site. But I do wonder what this tells Big. That they had a successful round hitting the B site, but what also happened is that Tizian had a successful lurk where he got a kill on RPK. That's not going to happen every time. And equally, you could argue that Xantaris would have won it anyway, but the other issue is that Vitality were playing very passive. That's also not going to be what happens every round. So the question for me is, how do Big use that information to find more success, because they need more success right now.
Yeah, I think they just have to trust their set pieces more, or at least that's what it indicates towards them. They have been getting picked apart consistently in these defaults, not finding the space that they want. And when the rounds get chaotic, it's actually been Vitality who have been coming out on top, at least on Inferno. So early on here, looks like Big won't have too much interest in that banana space. All 5 of their players seem directed towards that A site, and yeah, it's going to be what looks to be some sort of set piece again towards A this time, though.
They scale really well up long, I have to say, and it might work out for them here. Oh, they take enormous damage, but they get the 1 for 2, and that's going to be job done. Now, what do they do from here? They don't actually even have to commit to A if they don't want to, especially now that Mistuta's taken down Tizian with that MP9. Very precise stuff, and indeed, they don't commit. They actually fall back. They have a 3v3. All of the utility is gone for both teams, pretty much. They have 3 Molotovs, but Apex could end it here. They may not expect the push, and he's going to spray them down, and it's up to Searson now. 1 versus 2, and both the CTs coming up banana real fast.
Oh, there's a flash, and surely the swing's coming from the MP9. He'll deliver the first kill, though, Searson, and create some space himself with the Molotov. A sound queue, and he makes it look easy, like he's solo queue matchmaking, man. Actually, that's not easy. Something easier than that. But that's a third round, for Big, as they look to catch up now in this T half and give themselves a fighting chance moving into the second. You saw that swing was good. Maybe when the flash went a bit too deep for Searson's position.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Just the flash was too deep, and actually, if Searson was playing a little more back towards the coffin area, that flash would probably hit him. So it was kind of unlucky for Vitality. I mean, you don't expect him to be in that spot, but it looked like just a simple flash over the wall should have done the trick.
Yeah, that was a 1v3 for Searson, and That's frequently what kicks off Big winning a streak of rounds. Some kind of play like that. Some heroic 1v3 or just crazy double entry from an individual. And Big are a team that works so well with momentum, so this technical pause is actually coming at a pretty bad time for them here. That being said, Vitality do have very poor economy in this round, and Big should be able to capitalize off of it. In fact, they should know Vitality's buy, and they're buying because they probably do. A couple SMGs coming out from the Big side. They'll be looking to farm some major cash with those, with the 600 kill or 600 reward kill bonus.
One quick note as well, as we have this eco, the CT. Some people might be thinking about like, why did the CTs make the play that they did? Because if you're against an AWP, if you have good spacing, it should be pretty easy to kind of have a situation where you trade the kill. And I think that they thought that they would get there just as he's finishing the plant, and so then they know his position. Otherwise, actually playing it really slow would have actually been better, because then Citizen doesn't know where they are, and they can more effectively trade.
Oh, hello.
But this is something I think, like, I actually want to look at the demos, and see how Big are scaling up long, because I have never seen a team scale long as successfully and cleanly as they've been doing it reliably. Actually,
yeah, the smokes and FBs, because they're tossing their smokes in the archway and the library area, and so the only spot that the CGs can really peek is by the small pit moto area, and so it looked like they did a pretty good job of knowing that. Like, this is the spot where most likely a CT will peek is right here because of how the smokes and flashes have been thrown.
Usually teams get stuck by the counter utility around the beginning of long, and that's never been a sticking point for Big. They just like pop flash through it, and then the spacing is so sick.
Yeah, that's definitely a pretty good point on that. The CTs aren't really counter utilitying the Ts on those kind of set pieces. Because usually higher teams, you'd see some form of that, right? You see some form of counter flash or Molotov and slow down the Ts from scaling that fast.
Vitality have an interesting decision to make in this round. Because Big has been running nothing but set pieces for the last couple of gun rounds effectively, they either needed to get into the faces of Big here to try to just find some chaos or man advantage, or just really save these smokes. Shock, Zywoo, and Apex still are holding on to theirs, and it may make them not believe in this B exec that's coming out so quickly, but does it even matter? Apex is able to find one. There's that counter smoke coming out, but through the smoke, Xanthra finding Apex, and this B bomb site is free for the taking at this point. 3-on-3 situation, but Vitality are in such poor positions to try to bring this one back, and what?
Citizen's still up there.
Yeah, he double dips.
You can't double dip. You can't do that.
This is making it real winnable for Vitality. I think that early kill on the lurk already would make them consider going for it. But two of them are in the red. There's a motor to be deployed if Xantares has the angle to do it. If he does, actually, that could be fatal for them, because RPK is really in the red now. And that leaves Shocked with no position. Surely he goes for a save unless he has served something and goes for a crazy clutch here. 17 HP, nothing doing. And that Molly could have even been more brutal, but there is Bigger on the comeback. They're making a reasonable score out of their T side, so you do start to wonder about how this game will end.
I love the Keto there. He fluffed throwing the smoke and pulled out his gun too soon, and he just understood that the smoke doesn't matter. What matters more is his timing.
Yeah.
And he just pushes on, and his teammates are able to smoke afterwards in a time that makes sense. That was kind of cool to see. Sometimes people will get flustered by like messing stuff up, and then it will they'll like have an indecision or whatever. But he just handled it.
His job was to die.
It was just smooth. It was just very smooth.
Die and take bullets for the team. The tsunami of Big players coming right behind him.
Oh dear. Well, goodbye AWP.
There goes that risk.
Yeah, that is not retrievable.
I think Big has found maybe a weakness on Vitality. They're playing pretty passive usually in mid on this A bomb site, and even though it's an eco, you can see how Xantares is kind of just scaled up by himself for the most part.
I felt like Big are hitting really good timings with their set pieces, because usually if a team plays passive because they want to conserve their utility, the way that you balance out that play style is by making information plays around like the mid rounds, like time of the round, like around 1 minute, for example, or 50 seconds. Depends on the pacing of the other team. But Big is like hitting in this window before info plays even come in. And some teams like to actually bank on the fact that CTs will play for information and they'll set up traps to punish those info plays. But Big aren't playing any of those games. They're just actually hitting timings before Vitality can have information. So maybe Vitality are forced now to play more aggressively.
Yeah, Big's not playing games. They're not playing games right now. This is the finals.
Look at these 180s, man. Look at these pirouettes, baby. We're on the ice rink.
Yeah, Mouse Excel.
That's a 10.0 right there.
Yes, Centaurus, definitely his aim is feeling it right now.
19 kills.
Just had so much impact on the rounds that Big has been winning.
Swing with me, baby. You gotta be able to 180, man. Gotta spin to win.
Mouse Excel is awesome. Not enough people use it. It's very good.
Why do you keep bringing Mouse Excel?
Because Santaros uses Mouse Excel.
Yeah, I know, but why do you keep want to tell people to use Mouse
Because
Excel?
almost no one uses it, and he's one of the best mechanical players in the game.
Is that because of Mouse Excel, or is this hard practice?
It's very helpful. Oh. Ooh, are we sensing desperation now for Vitality? That was quite the desperation push it felt like. Oh no! Big are
man.
actually just destroying them right now.
Yeah.
Straight up destroying them.
This feels like the storyline of so many big games where they can start off slow, but once they get going, there's just nothing you can do. There's so little that can happen, and it's interesting this time at least was different in how they got in the game was a couple of set plays, but now they've inspired confidence in their players, and Sursen's flanking B with an op. From CT spawn, this is just crazy.
They're
They all have full
harvesting
HP.
organs for the black market.
It's
500 HP,
They all
baby.
have full HP.
It's a farm for Big, and the spoils are bountiful.
That was a buy round from Vitality.
They're harvesting organs for the dark web.
Yes.
This is so funny because I think at like 1-7 I said, oh, you know, it could be like, you know, game one where Vitality did this, you know, they managed to like bring it back, make it really. I didn't see it at that time, like how Big would do that. Generally speaking, I was just like making the point because it's like, well, you know, I'm sorry guys, they're getting kind of wrecked right now. I know this is not exciting for you. Maybe they'll come back, but you know, they props to them. They actually found a way to get back into the game. The problem solving from Big and the confidence in their system and their calling. It's proved very effective here, and Vitality. They certainly didn't find the right approach to deal with the set piecing, and I think the right approach was the more aggressive style on Banana and stuff, taking more initiative.
Yeah.
It's the most complex thing that carries the most risk. You have to be very drilled to do it effectively, but they were not able to.
Meat potatoes, man. There's too many calories in that gravy.
Oh, the retake nades.
Yeah, you can't trust it, bro. Chemicals, man.
This is the retake nades on top Banana there.
Yeah, Big don't. Okay, they're gonna be attempting bracket control here. Masuta in the apartments. There's a good setup here from Vitality to contest this bracket take. Oh, and that's an excellent start. Masuta takes down Tizzy in there. And Big might just have to opt to go towards B now.
Yeah.
Or will they try to find a timing towards A? Oh, wow. They're trying to read the rotations, it looks like, of Vitality, assuming that they'll stack the B bomb site at this point and go for a very late porch hit, but it doesn't look like it'll work. Vitality are in such excellent positions, it'll have to be just a stroke of luck, maybe genius, and excellence for Big as they try to manipulate this Vitality defense. Bazooka's in such a great spot. Looks like Vitality are primed and ready to get this one. The bomb's down now, and good stuff from Masuta there. That round was actually all him getting that kill at apartments. If he didn't find that, this might have been another round for Big.
Such a cool round. The mind games in this one was amazing. But we are at the end of the first half of map 2 between Vitality and Big, neck and neck, just like map 1 at the end of the first half. We'll have to see who comes out on top after the break.
Welcome back. We have a slobber knocker of a series, 8-7. Big, which is a huge comeback towards that late end of the first half, showing us that, hey, you can't just run us over. You can't just push us over, Alex.
Yeah, Vitality were getting in their grills, getting in their faces, but Big were able to recover from a 7-1 deficit and bring it to 8-7. That is some impressive stuff, and they're taking a page out of Vitality's book with this aggressive play. Xantras and Tizzy connect with a couple of frags instantly. Apex challenging the pit here, will find one. That makes things a little bit hairy for Big, because, I think there might have been a route discovered by Vitality onto this A bomb site. Xantrez, he's still holding this position towards apartments. Will they expect him to be so pushed up? Oh, there's no way they think this. Oh, but he can't hit the shot immediately, and Shox is able to recover. 3-on-2 situation, and Tabson, he wants to find something from the same well. Oh, the molly is there, though, and he can't find the flank. So it'll be a 2-on-3 retake, mostly from Pork, but Masuta's already here to meet it, and he's able to find the final 2 kills on the round. Vitality, in the chaos and confusion, find that single route and are able to make it out alive.
Wow. That's chaos.
I love this game of Inferno.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Madness from start to finish.
There's so much awesome stuff. We didn't even really talk about like the mind games in the last round of the first half yet either, which was so cool. I'm going to try to encapsulate it really, really quick. No, you know what? I don't have time. There's a force by here for big. Oh my god, okay. So, battle of the scouts. Well, we'll find out shortly. There will be the eco coming up next round if Big lose this round, so we can save it for that, I suppose. Because it's actually so epic what happens, and we didn't really get a chance to really talk about it. Definitely can't ever take this round for a given. These CT force buys are scary. Oh, the snake could be awesome.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's over 100 damage. That's nuts. That actually helps a lot for Big. Big are gonna have to defend this. This is gonna be really difficult. Oh, he does running straight through. Will he actually find a timing get through the smoke? No, he won't. RPK will deny him. But Xantares is like Tabson. They definitely have stuff that they can still do here. Tabson takes out one with the scout. Still so much danger in this round for Vitality to try to navigate. Oh, there's Xantares. He's having a great game so far. Can't quite find the finishing connection. But Tizian's lurking with the deal as well. I feel like there's trouble around every corner here for Vitality. Even though they are in advantage, it feels like I'm very afraid for them right now. Tizian creeping through the smoke, just sitting in that position, seeing what he can find. Great angle there from Masuta, though, to deal with him. And Tabson's actually rotated all the way from Bottom Banana to CT spawn. And he might just be able to catch a kill here with this setup. We'll see. It looks like they are going to take the safe route together down Banana. Nana.
Nanner.
That was such a grimy round from Big. They make you so uncomfortable. The way they play around smokes, just jump through them one at a time. It doesn't feel like their tempo or pacing or anything is even unified. But the individuals are so strong in their own rights that there's always that chance that one of them just comes up with a multi-frag.
So true.
You have to always be on your guard against them.
Super close, too, because the guy in the smoke, I think he barely got spotted, but he was on pace to almost sneaking right behind them in the rush. I think it was Keto.
Oh, we have a triple nade stack actually here, so let's just see what happens with this real quick. So is it going to be down mid or Banana and mid? Looks like Banana and mid. Oh, there's a nade stack from from Vitality as well. And looks like Big's nades will perhaps be used more reactively. Oh, what?
Wow.
What the hell was that? That looked like a huge flick. No scope. What? Okay.
They're doing all the 180s at the moment.
God.
I'm telling you, man, it just generates power. It's like they're just spinning a wheel
Like
with an elastic band on it, which is like operating some kind of wind turbine. They're just getting stronger with all the spins. And still keeping an eye on Long, but he's starting to head towards the B bomb site. The thing is, you can see some of them running up Speedway. So if there was somebody on the other side of those sandbags for the T's, they would hear that rotation, which is why you normally see players going the other way, but perhaps Big are feeling the urgency. There's a smoke up at present, and they're going back and forth now, continuing to guess as they had fully stacked towards the B bomb site. But now Tizian's going to go and make an info play. Oh, they're almost all rotating towards the A site again. Well, Xantares is just going back and forth, basically, on Speedway. So there's a lot of uncertainty and a lack of information. Tizian's in library with the AWP, and there'll be 3 players on B for Big who'll do what they can.
Oh, the flashbangs come through. Oh, this frag's happening here for Big. They're doing a good job getting the damage in there. Still Tizian and Searson alive, although they're not in position right now. But they can just run at the machine here and just see if they can get a crazy low percentage play to work, as they will be on the 4x next round. And this is going to be crazy low percentage. The peak for Searson. Not going to work out for him. Yeah, so... Okay, so at the end of the first half, we had this really awesome round whereby Vitality on the CT side had a had pistols, armor, and nades, and maybe an SMG or two. So it was a pretty crap situation. They wanted to take a gamble. So in the mid rounds, when Vitality were going towards top, that's where Big were going towards top mid. They ran a retake setup at top banana with the nade, the Molotov, and so on. And that was to and then they basically gamble stacked A afterwards, basically suggesting that they're going to have control towards banana. Big called their bluff, and then all of the other team of Vitality rotated all the way back to B again, and then Big used that information to then fake B. So they used Vitality's own play against them to serve as a fake, basically, and called their bluff. And so that's the quickest way I can encapsulate it, but that's pretty epic.
Yeah, just the levels of the play between both of these teams is really exciting. You'll see it in just their macro movements and how they want to take these fights, what they think their win conditions are. It all is just on top of each other. It's all just them trying to outread each other, and it's actually some excellent Counter-Strike being played by both of these squads.
Look at them just holding their nades out in the open, knowing Big is not going to peek on them.
Tizian, oh, he's just reloading in the smoke as two players pass him.
The full reloads.
Oh, wow. And they look fine right now.
Oh.
Tizian's going to go down in the smoke, and Cyrus still got this Mac 10. Out comes the P2000. Okay, Cyrus going to go down.
This is insane. This is madness.
It looked fine.
Every round is crazy.
That was an expensive round for Big, and there were 3 SMGs on the side of Vitality, so that's a good round to set Vitality up for the rest of the half. If they're able to win the next one, then that is going to really hurt Big's chances moving forward, because Big are broke off of this buy.
The crazy thing is, that block in the smoke probably helped him win the round, because if he doesn't block and they make it onto the side, they probably take the entire site and he'll go down a lot earlier there. So I think that really works in their favor more than we might think on the surface for Big. Keto just about escaped the situation with Apex top banana, and we can see there's a CT retake, or they are threatening that at least with the Molotovs, but they won't commit behind it. There are some deep mollies though. They have cleared out banana for now, apart from RPK, who's actually hidden ahead of the wall. Ahead of the smoke, rather. Well, there'll be a lot of utility used, it looks like, in order to take this, but Vitality have a fair amount in the bank. 3 smokes left on Big with 1:15 on the clock. Oh, they're going to go for the burst. The flashbang is on the way. Oh, no. Maybe just a bit before it, but it's going to work out for him. Running out bullets to take out Apex, but he will have the position finished off by Keto, of course. And Tabson's watching the smoke, looking for a boost. A little tease as the bomb's collected for Vitality.
That was so important, and this is something Big are pretty good at. But when they get the information, it gives enough of a picture for someone like Tizian to make this kind of a play. However, looks like Shox is going to be using this play against Tizian, just holding this position, and he's communicating to his team right now that he's going to have a free kill here. He wants his teammates to be in position so they can burst towards the A site with minimum notice for Big's rotation. So that's why Shox waited so long there, and now his teammates will try to charge this A site with him. But Searson's on the site, going to run straight into Searson to close range. Oh, he can't recover in time. Couldn't even shoot. Didn't have another shot ready in time, and that'll be the A side taken by Vitality. So very well played by Shox there to get that initial trigger discipline moment.
The delay to wait for his teammates so that they could flood the A bomb site is so experienced. You could tell that the comms, just like you mentioned, exactly what was being said. Guys, prime yourself in position so that as soon as I get this kill, we can just sprint at A. And Searson was just overrun at that point. He had an opportunity, but it was just too much pressure too quickly for him.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where you have to have this full trust in your teammates. Like at that moment when Shox is making a call, he's like the most important voice in the comms, and even if he's not regularly calling seconds, as like a secondary caller or something in the round on the T side, he has to also communicate in a way that his teammates understand what's happening. Because it's pretty hard to, let's say, explain, oh, I have my crosshair on this guy and I can kill him at any moment. I need all of you guys to be in position so we can burst the A site. That's not what he's saying. They have some other communication protocol that's going to convey that information very quickly.
Yeah.
12-8. We've got a MP9 again. We've seen a lot of MP9s in this game of Inferno, I feel like. Searson will be waiting for AWPs to come. So it's a dangerous round for Vitality, but not the strongest Big that we'll probably see in this half. And it'll get a little weaker as Antares making a forward play. RPK will be traded though to Vera's position. Citizen will try to stop the T's from advancing in the meantime. He'll ring the bell at least, but doesn't have the weapon for the job. Tizian caught up a grenade in his hand, and this one, I think the most dangerous part of this round has come and gone for Vitality. Keto and Tabton, I'm sure, want to hold on to these AK-47s.
Yeah, Keto needs to hang on to the
Vitality
AK.
should move to 13.
I think Tizian missed spot. Because everyone else has 2K, and I know they saved guns from last round, but maybe Tizian thought that they were going to buy around these AKs.
They'll still have a buy in the upcoming round because I think they're getting 2,400.
If they save the guns. If they save the guns.
Now they won't. Now they won't. That's that.
Eliminator.
Yeah, Tabson needs to drop this AK for Tizzy next round or a rifle.
Yeah.
Staying alive is priority.
Give him the MP9.
Yeah, they could technically still buy if he saves us.
I mean, they're going to buy. I'm just saying Tizian's not going to have a favorable buy.
I like how both teams, Vitality and Big, are pretty good at giving their opponents their respect in the right situations, but not in the situations that don't make sense. Because sometimes what happens at this level is you'll see that one team will give too much respect to the other team when the other team's on pistols, and it slows the round down a lot. They get they're hesitant. But here we see with both Big and Vitality, when they're in situations where they know they're pushing against pistols, they just have very good spacing, very good trading. They have no hesitation. They move in quickly, which really minimizes the chance for the pistols to really do that much. Whereas again, if you keep things really slow against the pistols and there's any hesitation, that's when the damage is done, generally speaking. So, but with that same sentiment, you do have to respect them when they have rifles. You know, you have to play that situation differently in terms of your how confidently you're moving and how you're doing your spacing and so on. But
yeah, there's a decisiveness that you have to love in both of these teams and how they approach the game. Full trust in themselves and their mechanics and their spacing and teamwork.
It feels like a pretty big moment this round. It's definitely a swing round here, as far as Big are concerned. Oh, Misuta. Oh, and RPK. They're both going to go down here. Oh, the nade should be a good follow-up. Oh, no! Zaiwu dodges it somehow. And this is really important for Big. To get back in the game, this has to pan out for them. And so far, it's panning out excellently. Looking very good here to survive with all five. The question is, what do Vitality want to do here? They have enough money to lose both these weapons and still fall by next round. Well, there we go. Going for some damage. Apex gets one. Oh.
It's like Apex.
Oh.
So he maybe tried to give Zaiwu some position, but there are too many flashes, too many man. And Big will win and survive with 4. Citizen still has the AWP. 3 AKs on Big as well. Will really even up the duels for those players going forward. Tabson will have the M4, it seems. And a lot of tactical boards are coming out. This is a very tight game despite the 4-round lead for Vitality.
I like what Vitality is kind of doing on their T side. As long as they eliminate that early game pick from last round that happened, I think they could keep taking over the banana with nades, and then after that point they can slow it down, rescale up in B, or even fall back to A. As long as they don't get picked off on the other side of the map. I mean, saying that, Big is doing a good job of being aggressive towards mid or the house side, picking off these lurkers that are trying to get this info as Team Vitality is working the banana.
It's a good thing Xantares is having such a big game right now. Keto's called off. See if Keto can do something here with this AK. Looks like Citizen will actually bear the load, and he'll do so very comfortably as he picks up 2 initial kills towards Banana, leaving Vitality only with a possibility to quickly hit this A side of the map and just see if the explosiveness can yield something to gain the ground up towards this A site, and it might just be doing that. Xantares stuck in the pit position. He's going to be able to get one headshot though. That's the bomb down on the ground, and right now Vitality are looking somewhat helpless. See if they can find anything here. Xantares to finish it off, and he might be on 30 kills right now. 29. Close. Close.
It's close. Yeah, Xantares is going off, and again we saw it. What happened this round is what happened to the last round. Is Vitality is getting picked off before they can even get set up into a take or working a choke point as a team.
Yeah, Big has been owning Banana the last couple of rounds. And that was a desperation call at the end for Vitality. You could see that they weren't even on the same page, actually. Apex pushing through the molly instantaneously, and I think it was Masuta who was kind of considering his options, whether he should or shouldn't, and then they just go for that full-on porch play. 3v5s are never easy, but you have to work together as a team to bust yourself out of them. Aggressive play from Tizian early on, though, is going to catch Masuta off guard, but he's only met with a Glock, so it's a lot of damage actually being inflicted, and there's a chance that he falls here. Tizian still holding his ground there, and Apex is able to take his life.
Dear.
This is getting a little hairy for Big all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know how well they read the money. Maybe he thought it was a Glock save or something like that, as opposed to this kind of half buy where they have utilities, we see helmet, and so on. It should still be totally fine. But that is a little scary that they have a rifle now to play with, and it's gone on to shots.
I don't know, man. They got flashes, they got 2 smokes, they've got a Molotov. They can take position, have a pistol swing in, and things could just go from bad to worse like that. Now they've got 2 rifles. Oh dear. 3 versus 3. They picked the right site. Who knows what could happen? Keto really has to keep his health up here. The smoke to create space. You got to be careful about spraying so close to a smoke like that. If they respond, it's not going to be healthy for you. And they've planted the bomb. Running out of utility now. Shox jumps up on the barrels. Searson holding an angle. They're kind of trapped where they are. Xantares has got a Molotov to deploy as well, so they may be able to fix their problems here. Down goes the RPK. It leaves it to just Shox, but yeah, with the utility they had, that became very dangerous for Big.
Yeah, Big don't really have money, so that hurts a lot. That kind of keeps Vitality within spitting distance, should they win against a full buy, of being able to just sort of run over Big. So Big have to be so careful here, and it's Big are, I think, as you've mentioned, Alex, like Big is such a good team in terms of once they're winning rounds, even if stuff like this is happening, they still play with full confidence, and they're still willing to take risks, but it's very scary to do so right now.
All right. Battle for Banana again. Big has been owning that position. But peeking down middle is Searson early on. He might find a timing, actually, as his player backing up. Oh,
my God.
All right, well, looks like Vitality were able to find frags across the map at this point.
I think they did a double nade.
Yeah.
Top Banana, and I just owned them.
Yeah, that was...
Or a triple nade, even.
I think that was it at that point.
I think there may have been a triple HE to this position, actually. I think it was a triple HE.
All right, just Xantares, though. 1v5.
He actually has to keep this gun alive. Like, he really does.
Yeah, this would be a big takeaway from the round. There's money to buy for most of the big players, but yeah, Tizian's pretty low, so Xantares should want to drop him into the upcoming round, at least something.
But Vitality have really bad money as well. If Xantares can find 3 kills, it's worth losing this AK, but I think that's kind of what he would need to do to satisfy things. Is he? He's actually kind of... Oh.
Okay.
There's a world where, like, if he gets that kill, you're starting to think, well, he's got some positioning, but then they could have just rotated the bomb to B immediately, so there you go. 14 rounds for Vitality and 11 for Big. Off the back of what I'm pretty sure that was a triple nade frag at the beginning of the round, and then Searson also just lost a straight up duel against the Galil.
Yeah, nice adjustment from Vitality over there to nade deep.
Double horse
towards that Banana. And you see Big. They're going to opt with double op on the CT side. Inferno. Big avoiding the corner Molotov, and that's where the nade right at the feet.
His position, he went back, he was greedy, and it's going to cost them the B-bomb site most likely, and maybe the round as well. Oh, Vitality forced them from their positions, but they refused to leave, man. They refused to lose, and they lost even more than expected.
That seems generally to be quite a greedy play from Big, because what so Big did one thing and then tried to play as though they were doing something else. So what I mean by that is they were trying to contest Banana where initially, like you said, Alex, Big's initial success came from control around Banana. Then what we saw is Vitality started getting edges back because they were able to have a better utility game towards Banana. And then that really was encapsulated by that previous round where they stacked HEs to the top of Banana to completely destroy Big, that's where they've been contesting Banana from mostly. So this round we get AWPs and no nades, and Big is still trying to play those same spots. So
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah, they're acting as if they aren't fighting for Banana, but Vitality are still using their nades there.
Yeah,
They're still going
exactly.
to be diligent about clearing those positions out, and they do a great job in that.
They had to play passive here.
That was weird from Xantares, not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I don't know what he thought enabled him to go for a
Take me
jumping
now.
spray.
Take me now.
He's feeling a little too much right there.
The MP9 is pretty nasty, but it can't prevent death.
No siree.
This is a good position for Vitality. They have 4 map points in this one here. Surson with the AWP will always give his team a win condition here. And it's a more tempered approach at Banana for Big. They aren't fighting for that control early on. Perhaps they have some way to play back in this round to retake this space, or maybe they'll just leave 3 at this site for the totality of the round.
Yeah, I was going to make the point too that like what they would have wanted to do if they had gotten nades and not AWPs in the previous round is with that utility play the retake and just give Vitality Banana, because they have been investing a lot in the early utility to get it. But Vitality playing more tentatively here because they know that Big are in a position where they don't have very much or as much as they would normally have in a buy round. And they've got that top Banana control, they've got that top mid control. This resembles a fairly typical default. But Vitality haven't seen anything yet. So Big could be stacking as far as they know. And Xantares will try to poke with that Deagle. He's not going to find anything, actually, unfortunately for him. And Vitality going to just go straight back to B.
Footsteps will be heard by Keto, but he's blind. There's not much he can do. We've got Citizen now at the back of the site with the AWP. He needs the multi-frag. There's one. He sees 2 or 3. Going to create some space for himself. He needs to try and find some space for maneuvering. Flashbangs are high. He has no idea which direction he's facing now. Still alive for a time. Tapson is able to help out, and he's trying to do more, but he can't. That leaves Xantares and Tizian either side of the site. One towards Ruins, one towards Banana. Bomb not planted just yet. And there's 10 seconds on the clock to do this. So will there be a swing? There will be, but from Tizian, but he'll take one in the face. That leaves Xantares with a Deagle versus 3. Trying to creep through the smoke. Hope and a prayer. This is not going to be easy for him, really.
Yeah, it would take a miracle, nothing short of a complete miracle for Xantares to find success here. He'd have to be perfect on every single shot and in quick succession as well as he looks to make that first attempt. But Shox will take him down 16-11. And much like the first map, very back and forth, but it was Vitality who stood tall with better adjustments towards the end of the game. And Big, they couldn't find those adjustments. They seemed to just lose tempo.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point, Dan, of the adjustments Vitality made with those nades in the Banana and whatnot, and how to change up and work in the map back and forth. It's good.
It was good. And you know what else is good? Is the Source 2 engine. I hear that there's been a lot of interesting things in the works to try to get that Source 2 goodness to CS. Let's find out what's going on.